Very good morning to my dear students. Today we shall start your core 5 honors paper core 5. You see, in unit 1 we have preferences and utility, axioms of rational choice, utility, trade and substitutions, then indifference curve, then utility, maximization and choice, and all this, right? So let us start today the first part of unit 1, that is consumers preferences and utility. Now first of all, let me tell you consumers preferences and utility. What is utility first? Utility is the want satisfying capacity of a commodity is called utility. In plus 2 you have read this. That is, any commodity which has the power to satisfy human wants has utility. And because a commodity possesses utility, we go for its consumption. So consumption rests on one, that is utility of the good. A good having higher utility, we consume it more. And a commodity having less utility, no utility, we just leave it. So when you talk of consumers preferences means consumers choice. Now as you all know, we people, every individual of the world, even every country of the world has limited resources, and with limited resources they confront unlimited wants to fulfill. Our wants are unlimited, but our resources are limited. This is true for the country as well as for the individuals also. So once you have unlimited wants to fulfill and you have limited resources at your disposal to tackle these wants, so what you will do? In that case, you have to go for a choice. As Robin said, economics is a science of scarcity and choice. We have scarcity, so we go for a choice. And when we go for a choice, we go for a preference as to which commodity we have to consume, as to which commodity we have to live. So there comes the question of gradation of wants. You first make a gradation of wants. Which wants are more urgent for you? Which wants are less urgent for you? So you leave the less urgent wants and you first go to fulfill the more urgent wants. So we always prefer, individuals always prefer those goods which are more urgent, which are more required for him, and he leaves the goods which are not required for him at all. So consumers' preferences arise, consumers' choice arise because of scarcity, and scarcity arises because we have unlimited wants and we have limited resources. So the scarcity comes. Because of scarcity, we go for a choice, and from the choice comes the question of preference. So consumers always go for a preference, always grade their wants, higher important want, less important want, and accordingly they go for consumption of wants. Now when you go for consumers preferences, what we do? When you go for a consumers preferences, we always prefer some goods to other goods. Let me take the example of a biscuit. Suppose same biscuit, same Vita Marie Gold biscuit is available from your Britannia company, from Parle company, from Beast Farm, from Anmol. So what you will purchase? Your preferences will be for the best one because the prices are same. So let's get the best quality good, that is Britannia. But here, when you talk of the preferences, consumers preferences, let us not talk of individual goods. Let us talk of the bundle of goods. When we talk of preference of individual preferences, we generally talk of a bundle of goods, a set of goods, a group of goods which we prefer to another group of goods. It's not that we in the market we consume one good. In the market we consume a number of goods. And when we consume a number of goods, that constitute a set of goods, a bundle of goods. So when you prefer, in consumers preferences, we say what bundle of goods you prefer to another bundle of goods. So here we talk of a set of goods, a bundle of goods, a group of goods which we consume together. So to make the concept clear, look at this table. This is bundle of goods X, Y, Z, units of food. Let's say the consumer has 3 bundle of goods constituting of only 2 goods. One is food item, other is clothes. So he has 3 bundles X, Y, Z, unit of food items 50, 30, 20, and unit of cloth 40, 60, 80. So let's say there are 3 bundles, alternative bundles of goods available before a consumer that he can consume. In bundle X, he has 50 units of food grains or food items and 40 units of cloth units. In Y bundle, he has 30 units of food and 60 units of cloth. In Z bundle, he has 20 units of food and 80 units of cloth. Now, dear students, every consumer in the market always confronts with number of bundles. But which bundle you will choose, which bundle will be suitable for you, that depends upon the resources that you have at your disposal. If you have more money, you can go for a better bundle. If you have less money, you have to constrain that with a lower bundle. So here comes the income constraint or budget constraint. Every bundle of good that you choose depend upon how much money you have to spend on those goods. Once you have no budget constraint, you have no budget problem, you have no budget restrictions, you have no income restrictions, you can go to any bundle of goods. But that doesn't happen. We always go with a budget constraint, we always go with a limited income to purchase a bundle of goods. So which bundle of goods will be preferable for you, that depends upon your pocket or the money that holds in the pocket. Let's say this is one bundle, 50 food grain and 40 cloths, 30 food, 60, 20, 80. So what bundle you will choose, that depends upon your economic condition, your budget, your income and the money which you have at your disposal. So this comes because we have limited money resources and we have to choose the right bundle according to our income, according to our money. Okay, so now this consists of a rational choice. We always go for a rational choice by which we use that bundle which will be suitable for us. We don't never think that a poor man has the same bundle of goods, has the same bundle of preferences as a rich man has. A rich man certainly has a better bundle of choice, preferences than a poor man. So what are the axioms? What are the axioms or principles of rational choice? So this rational choice has a few principles. Let's say what are the axioms? First I have written here completeness. Completeness. Completeness means a consumer who go for a preference, go for a choice in the market, he has to be completely satisfied with the bundle of goods that he chooses in the market. That is, that it must be inconsistent with his money income that he has in his pocket. So he must choose that, but he must completely choose. He must choose that bundle of goods, that group of goods which his money income permits him to go. So this is completeness, means he must have completeness in his choice, in his preferences, in his purchase of good or bundles. Second is transitivity. Transitivity means, let's say he prefers X. Let's say our consumer prefers X. If X is not available, he prefers Y to Z. So for him, this is first preference, this is second preference, this is third preference. So transitivity means if consumer prefers X to Y, and if he also prefers Y to Z, Z means Z bundle of goods, then it ultimately shows that the consumer prefers X to Z also. If he prefers X to Y and he also prefers Y to Z, then he also prefers X to Z. Okay, so this is transitivity. Then what is continuity? Continuity means if a consumer prefers X to Y, that means he chooses X bundle of goods to Y bundle of goods. And if his money income is reduced to little extent, so that he cannot purchase all that is available in X, so he will be forced to purchase somehow a little less than X, or another bundle of good which is nearly equal to X, but never Y. So here, if he cannot purchase X, then if his money income falls, he will be forced to purchase another bundle of goods which will be nearly equal to X but never to Y. So that means his preference, his choice will be nearly equal to X but not Y. Okay. Lastly, more is better than less. As you all know, we are consumers. We always prefer more things than less things. That we will read in the future in indifference curve. Because a higher indifference curve will always give us more satisfaction than a lower indifference curve. That is, a consumer always needs more amount of goods with his limited money income. If with limited money income you can get better goods, more amount of goods from another source, you will certainly rush to that place. So we always want more than less. Okay, so this is all about your preference and utility. Let's say, what is there more? Next comes trade and substitution. What is trade and what is substitution? Now, trade means transaction. Trade means transaction. When we purchase any commodity from the market, the transaction takes place between the buyer and the seller. And when you purchase something, you pay him money, you get the good. So here the give and take process continues, and that gives rise to transactions, that gives rise to trade. And in the trade process, what happens? The buyer always wants to maximize his satisfaction with his limited money income. Unless and until there is trade, we cannot satisfy our human wants. We cannot maximize our satisfaction in the market. So when there is trade, there is also comes the question of substitution. Substitution means to substitute one good for the other good. If in the market we have number of goods which satisfy the same want of humans, so many times what we do, we substitute one good for the other good. Let's say we consume 3 bundles. There are 3 possible bundles here, X, Y and Z. Your money income rises. You are in the X bundle. Now you will shift to Y bundle. And if again your money income rises, you will shift to Z bundle. This is called substitution. You substitute one for the other. Let's take the example of tea and coffee. A cup of tea is 5 rupees, a cup of coffee is 10 rupees. Now if the coffee price falls to 6 rupees, then what happens? People from tea will rush to coffee and will have more of coffee, and demand for tea will fall. So this is substitution. You substitute one good for the other good. Why this happens? Because taking our money, limited money income with us, we always want that in the market we must get higher and higher, better and better bundle of goods. So once we find something to be better than another, then we go for the substitution, and this substitution we make to maximize our satisfaction, to maximize our utility. As we have read in class 2, the law of equimarginal utility, where Marshall said a consumer will maximize his satisfaction at that point where the marginal utilities of different commodities that he purchased in the market are equal. So to make the marginal utilities equal in the market, what we do? We substitute one for the other. Marshall कौन कहला? When all marginal utilities will be equal of all goods, our satisfaction will be maximum. Okay? How it is possible? We have 5 commodities, we have to purchase 5 commodities. Let's say we have to purchase 2 commodities. If we have to purchase 2 commodities, how is it possible that the marginal utility of X and Y will be equal? In that case, we have to substitute one for the other. Let's say X marginal utility is more, Y's marginal utility is less. Why? X marginal utility is more because we have spent little amount on X, and Y's marginal utility is less because we have spent too much on Y. So in that case, to equalize the marginal utilities, what we will do? Now we will substitute some, we will reduce some amount of money from X and we will spend more on Y, so that the marginal utilities will be equal with each other. This is called substitution. We have to substitute one good for the other good in order to maximize our satisfaction in the market. Because a consumer's sole objective is how to maximize the maximum satisfaction in the market. Okay? So, as I told you, as I gave you the message, that on Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, I will send you videos, and you get yourself ready, because these videos I shall start from the beginning and I shall complete the course in due course. And after the college reopens, of course you can take direct classes, but up to that time you must sincerely watch it, and any problem at anywhere you must tell me in remarks or in WhatsApp. Right? Thank you.